What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mistick's MMOs. I'm your host, Mistick Raven. Alright, so I have another build for the Stamden, for the Deadlands DLC. This is Ranger, and I really love this build. Oh my god, it's so good. So let's go ahead and get into the character sheet. Okay, our max health's at 19.6, stamina recovery is 14.18. Weapon crit currently 70%. Weapon damage currently is 35, and our penetration's at 5395. Really good. We've allocated all the points in the stamina. We are using the Thief Mundus, of course, and we're going to be using Lava Foot Soup and Sultries. Okay, so back bar, you're going to see the crit takes a hit, right? But it's still at 53. Excuse me. Our physical penetration scoots up to 6.5. So looks good. Yeah. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into the skills. I mean the sets. First the sets. Okay. So yeah, I'm scrolling up. We're going to be using Reliquin. Now, a lot of changes, but with this build, Reliquin's going to get really nice. This is going to be our proc set because what we're going to do is only rotate for the AoE lay and then switch back. So the rotation is slightly different. So we're going to be dependent on a lot of durations and dots because we want to weave frequently to keep up that 5-second duration between the rotation. Now currently it's dealing 205. I'll show you what happens when we're all procced up. But just keep this in mind. It is precise, but this has frost damage glyph instead. I tested the poison. The frost damage works out better due to the passives in the Winter Embrace. We're going to get a 10% towards frost damage. So we're going to take advantage of it. Okay? Alright. So, of course you're going to see that. So that, and then we're going to use the Maelstrom Perfected Ice Staff. It's going to be infused with weapon damage increase. Once again, Frost Staff. Why? If I typically have 4 AoEs, I prefer Lightning due to the passives inside the Destruction Staff. Right? Ancient Knowledge. But, because we get a 10%. And typically, because we have 3 AoEs, we would benefit. We'd have a 2.5 second duration with bar swap, so we can get 3.5 in a rotation on the back bar towards the AoEs if we're running 4 AoEs. Since it's not the case, we want to take advantage of the frost damage passive instead. Okay, so if I was running 4 AoEs, I prefer the lightning staff if I can justify a 5-second swap between, because I can get 4 seconds in between the AoE rotation. But given the fact that this is the case, we're going to take advantage of the frost staff. Plus, it's going to give us a shield, a small projectile shield. So, and it has a CC effect. So, really nice. This is a ranged build. There's no melee in this build. Okay, so we're also going to use Damahas. Now, if you want to switch out for Slime Crawl Kilt, you can. The only difference of it is you would pick up a light pair of Damahas, switch this here, and then put the kilt here. Okay? So, Damahas infused, max stamina. Our secondary set is going to be Mother Sorrow. I really like the set. This is all stamina, but it gives us the nice passives. Ugh, I hate when I do that. Inside the light armor. That's going to give us our penetration. And it's going to give us our critical value. Okay, so we do have 2 pieces of medium to take advantage of agility. We are a Khajiit. I prefer the Khajiit with this build. This is going to give us an additional 4% towards our weapon and spell damage. And then, of course, we're going to get that extra 4% on top of the 12. So we're looking at 16% into our critical damage modifier with those adjustments up front. Okay, So this is Divine, Shoulder Medium Divine, Sash Divine, Max Stamina, Gloves, Breeches, and Shoes, all Divine. Reliquine Jewelry, you'll need all 3 pieces, 2 infused, 1 bloodthirsty. You definitely want to take advantage of the 2 infused, given the fact that Reliquine scales off of what? Our max stats of weapon damage scaling. So we want to take advantage of that. Okay, now keep in mind also that in the skills, we're going to get a passive into the bow. That's going to give us an extra critical modifier, which is really nice, into accuracy. So it gives us another, well, it's not a multiplier, it's a base value. So really nice. Okay. Also, if we do a dodge roll, we'll get the major expedition. Okay. With that, let's go ahead and get into the skills. Front bar. Remember, everything's going to be AoE based. So we're going to use Endless Hail, 14-second duration. Poison Injector, 10-second duration. Lightweight Beast Trap, 15-second duration. Now keep in mind, we're going to get 2, we're going to use Camouflage Hunter. So this is also going to give us that 4 or 6% into the Fighters Guild under Slayer, plus 4%, so we have a 10% modifier, right, towards our weapon damage. We're going to use Subterranean Assault on this bar, and of course we're going to have Wild Guardian. Now in that passive into the Animal Companions, on this bar we're going to get a 4% damage modifier, right? But then when we switch, we'll get a 6%. So on the back bar, we'll get a slight buff on that short duration for the swap. Okay, so that's why you want to use durated effects, because when you're switching, you'll boost up the difference between the rotation. Okay, all right, so back bar, this is the kind of the most important. This rotation is going to be a little different. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So I'm still getting accustomed to it as well. Razor Caltrops, Growing Swarm, really nice. Plus it gives a minor vulnerability. Once again, Unstable Wall of Frost to take advantage of our light attacks with the effect. Bold Edge, this is going to give us our major brutality and major sorcery, which is very important because we will be using Unstable Wall of Frost. And that's important to increase the damage modifier. Okay, and it'll help with the just, you know, getting that damage with the frost. Okay, once again, Camouflage Hunter on both bars for scaling purposes, so we get an extra 3%, and then Wild Guardian, so we'll get a 3. So it works out really nice. I really like this setup. Okay, now with that being said, let's go into the modified stats. Now, when we come in, we're at 61. Weapon damage was 76% crit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. That's why I would rather prefer, after you see the shocks hit, that's when you really want to switch, so you can maintain your stacks, right? And then you want to switch and then hit, and then that'll refresh. So it is a little different from, you know, most of your... See that I dropped off, I failed already. So once you get accustomed to it and you get those stacks built up, now wait until you see what the set's doing. So now we're up to... messed up. Alright. So now this effect is going to scale up to 335. We can actually get it higher. So now we're going to be at 335 once everything's up. And once I said, once you get used, you just want to be able to use those rated effects. And then once you get used to it, you'll be able to maintain throughout the swap. Really, really nice. Really, really. It's a different rotation, but it works out so much better because you're using all the derated effects towards your advantage. And once the subterranean assaults lay, you're not having to worry about a spammable, weaving in between a spammable. Because all of your dots, once that subterranean assault hits and you just keep weaving it, that's your indication to go ahead once it hits to swap out the back bar, because your derated effects will be up once you get the timing down. So yeah, really flipping amazing. I swear I can't even believe that we were able to do this, because like I said, 76% crit, and then on top of it, our critical modifier, given the fact it's still only at 36% with the Khajiit. So we were able to take advantage of it, taking into consideration all the other sets that could be applied in composition. So yeah, really, really good. I know you guys are gonna like it. I love it. I set a bar for myself. I don't care what other players are doing. I try to set a bar for my standards, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Once again, I'm Mystic Raven. This is Mystic's MMOs. Have a nice day, y'all.